Well, I got that part, yeah. I don't have this. You get 'em? I gotta print the script. Email it to me, email it.
Is there some point where you're in between? Because I can put like Ford on there and all your stuff, and then when you talk,
I can convert it. Yeah, once I just don't have it. So I didn't get it. So it's my fault because I have a new person. Drew is new. And so I don't have that piece. I'll fix it. You just email it to me. I'll make sure I get it done. All will be done. I'll take this, Kim, and put it into that. Oh, to see how it works?
If I'm not on camera, I just assume probably just stand here and I'm ready, so there's no transition time, if that's okay. I mean, it's not that long to stand. Yeah. That's fine.
Hi.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever you think. Whatever you think.
so these things are not on.
No,
Little bits that are in here.
all I sent you is my message to the graduates. That's all I
Okay,
sent.
do you want me to add these things on there? So
Sure.
they
So,
come-
so that is the source of guidance.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay, I can do that.
Bring your homework, Debbie.
Yeah, so Kim's going to stick your remarks into that.
That's what we do. Yeah. That's great. Good to know. Yeah.
Sounds
Good morning. I am UW Parkside Chancellor Debbie Ford, and as the MC of these proceedings, I hereby call this the 2020 winter commencement of the University of Wisconsin-Parkside to order. Please rise in person and in spirit as we sing our national anthem.
So why isn't the text moving?
Because they don't have the script in that part. It will, that's the part. That's why I realized something was wrong. Good morning. I am the University of Wisconsin-Parkside Chancellor, Debbie Ford. And as the MC of today's proceedings, I hereby call this the 2020 Winter Commencement Ceremonies to order. Please rise in person and in spirit as we sing our national anthem. Thank you, Dr. Kinchin, and the students of the UWP Chorale for that beautiful music. Before we proceed, I want to welcome the University of Wisconsin-Parkside faculty and staff, as well as those elected officials, community members who serve on our foundation board, our alumni association board, our college advisory boards, and those who support student success through scholarships, all who may be joining us today. We also acknowledge the parents, families, and friends who have joined us here today, and we want to give students the chance to thank all of you for your ongoing support. Students, if you are with your family and friends, please take a moment to show your thanks for all that they do to support you on your journey at UW-Parkside. Finally, and most important of all, please join me in greeting our guest of honor, the 2020 graduating class of the University of Wisconsin-Parkside. Congratulations, graduates. Reflecting back on our 2019 winter commencement, if you had told me that the next two University of Wisconsin-Parkside commencement ceremonies would be virtual because of a global pandemic, well, I would have found that difficult to believe. 2020 has been a year filled with change, adversity, and loss. I'm certain that the pandemic has sadly touched each of us or someone we know. Yet through it all, there are hundreds of people with us today who are ready to celebrate the successful completion of undergraduate and graduate degrees from the University of Wisconsin-Parkside. Last May, during our virtual commencement, we talked about special plans this December to honor the 50th anniversary of our first graduates, the class of 1970. I was optimistic that we would gather together graduates, alumni, family, friends, faculty, and staff. Even though we had to change those plans, we're proud to include in today's virtual event all of our 2020 graduates celebrating their amazing accomplishments, along with proud alumni from our inaugural class 50 years ago. For the past 9 months, ever since we made the difficult yet necessary decision to move more of our learning environment to a virtual format, UW-Parkside students and our award-winning faculty and staff have worked through challenges to discover new opportunities. Our learning community continues to engage in addressing issues beyond COVID, including the nationwide and local movements to build more equitable, just, and inclusive societies and efforts to ensure that all members of our society have access to affordable education. For me, one word continually comes to mind: resilient. Resilient meaning being able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult situations. Today, we celebrate the resilience of more than 400 women and men, members of the summer and winter UW-Parkside class of 2020. And once again, we acknowledge more than 550 graduates from our spring class of 2020. But there is much more to the class of 2020 than being resilient. Chances are you've heard of the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. This phrase dates back to the early 1800s, describing the basics of education. Today, allow me to offer a different spin on the 3 R's and tell you about the 4 R's that embody our 2020 graduates. These men and women are resilient without question. They are also responsive and resourceful in how they meet head-on the challenges facing our world today. 2020 graduates have been tasked with completing their degrees, you might argue, like no other class in our history. Working with our faculty and staff, they created unique situations to continue their educational journey and reach their academic goals. Because they are so resilient, so responsive, and so resourceful, they are ready to contribute to our society today and well into the future. The class of 2020 is prepared and ready. Adversity and setbacks are nothing new. Just when we think we have faced the biggest challenge and developed the most innovative solution, something new emerges, and the next group of resilient, responsive, and resourceful individuals steps up to discover the solution. I'm particularly proud of the more than 27,000 UW-Parkside alumni who keep stepping up to move our world forward, representing UW-Parkside's hallmark as an inclusive and accepting learning environment. For many years, UW-Parkside has been the most diverse campus in the University of Wisconsin system, and students of color make up more than 35% of our university's population. We are extremely proud of this achievement, but no, enrollment does not equal student success for all. We have set our sights on becoming the most equitable and inclusive university. Our shared commitment for equity, diversity, and inclusion means our graduates are truly ready to contribute in a world that becomes more diverse each day, working to ensure equity and inclusion for all. Graduates, today it is my honor to wish you much success in the next chapters of your lives. Some of you earning undergraduate degrees today will continue in one of our outstanding master's programs. Today we are awarding 116 master's degrees, which represents 100% growth from last year in 2019. And another milestone for the class of 2020 is we are celebrating the first class of master's degree candidates in the Master of Science degree in Clinical Mental Health Counseling. Congratulations to these 12 graduates and their faculty who have blazed a new trail for this new, highly relevant and responsive program. Possibilities continue to grow at the University of Wisconsin-Parkside. Family and friends, faculty and staff, please join me in wishing our graduates much success, and I know you share my confidence in their future. Members of the class of 2020 at UW-Parkside, I'm so very proud of I'm so very proud to be a part of this year's UW-Parkside commencement ceremony and share my pride and excitement with all of you, our graduates. Each year presents its own unique obstacles and opportunities for our graduating classes, but I'm sure a few of us could have imagined what lay ahead when we started the year. Congratulations on completing your college careers. You have persevered through adversity during a most challenging year and shown that nothing can stop you. You are prepared to create the opportunities and change our world needs today and in the decades to come. You are resilient, you are responsive, you are resourceful, and you are ready. Congratulations, class of 2020. I wish you a joyous, and I'll cheer, of course, I wish you a joyous holiday season and continued success in all of your future endeavors. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce the University of Wisconsin-Parkside Chancellor's Award recipient for the Winter 2020 commencement. The Chancellor's Award is emblematic of our top graduating student, and our 2020 Winter Commencement honoree is Mariana Nelson, who receives her baccalaureate degree in graphic design today. Mariana has served as a resident advisor in Ranger Hall, where she surpassed her regular duties by tutoring students, proofreading papers, and creating community building activities. She is an engaged member of our church community and has worked with Lakeland Care, performing outreach and hands-on activities for children suffering and recovering from brain injuries. She has also volunteered at the St. Vincent de Paul Retail and Donation Centers and as part of our church's facility staff. Mariana worked as a dietary aide at East Troy Manor Nursing Home for 2 years and also played baritone saxophone in UW-Parkside's Wind Ensemble and Community Band. Mariana's perseverance in the face of adversity, significant contribution to her community, and outstanding academic performance and her commitment to the success of her peers makes her an ideal choice for this honor. Now, Mariana grew up in a Bulgarian orphanage where her early foundational educational experiences were rare. She embodies the 4 R's of UW-Parkside graduates: resiliency, responsiveness, resourcefulness, and readiness. In addition to her academic success, service to others, she is an innovator. She has been involved with UW-Parkside's App Factory and Small Business Development Center for the past 3 years and has served as the App Factory lead designer. Her skills earned her first place in the Big Idea Innovation Challenge for creating a review-type app where companies' level of accessibility for those who need Americans with Disabilities Act or related accommodations could be charted and tracked. The app will function under Mariana Nelson's privately owned LLC named CAP. Please welcome the Winter Commencement 2020 Chancellor's Award recipient, Mariana Nelson.
Good day to all those who are watching at home and online, and a big congrats to my fellow December 2020 graduates and families. We made it, finally. To those who don't know me, I am Mariana, a graphic design major here. It's a true honor to be recognized for this award and represent a huge passion of mine, graphic design. I want to say thanks to the Chancellor and the committee of professionals that took the time to recognize the individuals and those that read each of our nomination letters. I also want to personally thank Lisa Barber, my wonderful professor, that nominated and helped me through this whole process. And a huge thank you and congrats to my fellow outstanding graduates. I hope you all take the time to boast on social media and resumes. For many of us, UW-Parkside has become our home for the last couple of years. Here, we've grown, felt inspired, and challenged. We built relationships, both professionally and personally, that will last a lifetime. First, I want to state how huge of an accomplishment this is for you all. I know that during the trials of COVID, this accomplishment is not easy to celebrate, with the lack of physical support and loud cheering crowds. But make no mistake, that doesn't conclude this accomplishment is any less greater. I would argue that it's even greater because the amount of adaptivity each of us had to face. Through adversity, we build character, create stories together, and in the end, it makes us all stronger. And when our parents tell us stories about the good old days and how hard life was because they had to walk to school in the dead of winter, uphill, both ways, we'll be able to say, so what? We graduated during a worldwide pandemic. Although for most of you, my words or what others might say won't change this disappointment of not having a traditional ceremony, let us remember that graduation isn't about the ceremony, but the memories, things you have learned and accomplished that you've already experienced that makes this worth celebrating. Therefore, I'd encourage each of you to dress in your Sunday best. If you have a cap and gown, wear those to help remind yourself that today is special and you are graduating. Secondly, I want to thank the administrative staff and all those who are helping with graduation today. I also want to thank the faculty, professional staff who gave it your all to provide us with an education where you push your students to do their best and create meaningful relationships. Personally, I would like to thank each of my professors in my department and those who guided me through core education classes. I also would like to thank the professional staff that tends to get overlooked. UW Parkside Police for keeping Parkside safe, and maintenance staff both on campus, in housing, for creating a clean and beautiful place for us to come and learn. Brickstone Catering and Wiley staff who kept us fed, giving us enough energy to continue late night studying. I also want to thank all my classmates for the amazingly weird and unique conversations that we've had in class, the late night support trying to finish homework, and most importantly, to each of the loved ones who are represented in the graduating class. We thank you for your continuous support, sacrifice, and dedication to our education. As I close my speech, I want to wish you all the best luck in your endeavors, whether that's curing cancer, engineering the first quantum internet, to painting an emotional painting, or living in your parents' basement. Keep doing and making groovy things, as one of my professors is notable for saying, and to famously quote Vulcans, live long and prosper.
Thank you, Mariana, for those very inspiring words, and again, congratulations. For the introduction of this year's outstanding graduates, please join me in welcoming the Provost of the University of Wisconsin-Parkside, Dr. Rob Dukoff.
Thank you, Chancellor Ford. Each year, faculty members of the University of Wisconsin-Parkside nominate students in the senior class to receive the university's Outstanding Graduate Award. A committee of faculty and staff then select the recipients. Including our spring awardees, we have 13 award recipients to honor today. Please join me in watching the following video montage of our 2020 Outstanding Graduates.
Thank you, Provost Dukoff, and congratulations to all of our 2020 outstanding graduates. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Professor of Music and Director of Choral Activities, Dr. James Kinchin, and the UW Parkside Chorale. The chorale will sing a prologue of salutation composed and written by Dr. Kinchin, followed by Pomp and Circumstance and a wonderful student montage, photo montage.
Thank you, Dr. Kinchin, and our chorale singers. And congratulations to each of you, members of the University of Wisconsin Parkside class of 2020. You are graduating amidst a global health crisis described by a noted psychologist as the biggest cultural event since World War II, and one that will have huge impacts on everyone, particularly young adults. I'd like to share a few thoughts with you, the class of 2020, and about those of us who work in higher education. Before I do, it's important that I recite one of those obligatory sayings at commencement that give you advice for a good life. My pick for today is from Vidal Sassoon. The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. Well, you've worked hard and you've earned your degrees. I am sorry you are not walking across the stage this morning. You're not shaking hands with your family and friends looking on proudly. We love commencement for that. And I've always taken a bit of extra joy in the families that scream and applaud for their graduates. My family loved shouting as loud as we could for each of our 5 kids when they graduated. It was like a competition. Which fans can be the loudest? Many of you, scattered by COVID, haven't been able to say the kind of goodbyes you'd like to say to your professors, the staff you got to know, and fellow students, the people who have become your mentors and friends while you've been at Parkside. Many of you, the handholders and the huggers among you, are stuck communicating your feelings remotely. And many jobs have dried up. According to Pew Research Center, of the roughly 19 million 16 to 24-year-olds in the labor force, almost half were employed in the service sector, and a big chunk of those jobs have evaporated. Not only are young people struggling, more than half under 30 say someone in their household has lost a job or taken a pay cut because of COVID. Even prior to COVID, young adults reporting depression had increased a lot, especially with the wide adoption of smartphones. COVID has probably made things worse. Pew found that Americans between 18 and 29 are more likely to feel depressed during the pandemic and less hopeful about the future, even less hopeful than seniors who are much more vulnerable to the disease caused by the virus. So in spite of all this, class of 2020, you've done what you needed to do to deal with the pandemic, and you have shown resilience, as the Chancellor discussed. And as we head into winter and the final battle with COVID, I look forward to spring when we will not only reemerge from the cold, but rediscover some of the connections we have with one another as human beings. For now, I hope you'll give yourselves the space to feel gratified by your accomplishments. You deserve it. And your degree, what you've learned, and the relationships you've built will benefit you for the rest of your lives. I know you understand this, and that's why you stuck it out through this most difficult time. That's why you've succeeded. It's a bit of an understatement to say that you are graduating at a time when things in our country are not exactly in perfect order. Our response to COVID has been an epic failure. Our democracy isn't working the way it should. As a nation, we're spending too much and leaving the bills for you to pay. The gaps in wealth in the U.S. are larger than at any point in the last century, and African Americans are still incarcerated in state prisons at about 5 times the rates of whites. A 2020 study by the Harvard Kennedy School Institute of Politics indicates that only 8% of Americans between 18 and 29 believe the government is working as it should be, and fewer than 1 in 5 consider themselves very patriotic. They are skeptical of institutions, yet expect more of government solutions. They are dissatisfied with the current system, but hope for a better one. Speaking personally, I came to this country from Canada to pursue my own American dream. Over the past few months, the protests led by UW Parkside students and students across the country have impacted the way I think. This should not be a surprise, as young adults have often served as the necessary voice for change. In my role as provost, I am doubling down on our commitment to student success, and particularly to ensuring that students of color graduate at the same rates as white students. And to those of you graduating today, we are going to depend on your continued leadership to ensure the American dream is a dream that all our citizens, in our country believe is possible. Making the American dream a reality for students from our community is our business at UW Parkside. And the threats against it today make our work at UW Parkside even more important than ever. UW Parkside has always held students and community at the heart of our mission. That's why we were created 52 years ago, to strengthen economic development and quality of life in our region by educating more students. And that's why the bold goal in our strategic framework to grow the number of annual graduates by 50% by 2025. The more well-educated graduates we produce, the more good we do. Last year, UW Parkside produced the largest graduating class in our history and a 12% increase from the previous year. If we were together in the gym, I'd stop at this point and invite you to applaud this significant gain. This December, the number of eligible graduates continued its increase by 6% over last year. In spite of the challenges that COVID has thrown at all of us, more of you have graduated, and we are proud of your accomplishments. We're also so thankful for the expertise and commitment of the incredible faculty and staff that supported you in your journeys. If we were together, I'd stop us again here for us to show our appreciation. I am confident with the grit you've displayed and the education you've received at UW Parkside, you are well prepared for whatever lies ahead. Congratulations again, class of 2020, and go Rangers. That concludes the live streaming section of commencement. Please follow the instructions on the next slide to close out this video and click on one of the links to view your college's portion of our 2020 winter commencement ceremony, which will include listings of graduates with degrees and honors. Thank you.
Nice job.